I'm Robin Clevett, and in this video I'm going to talk about costs. I'm going to talk about how much it's cost to get this new house behind me up to the stage we're at, which is basically wind and watertight. So the envelope is almost finished. So I'm going to talk about the groundworks, the superstructure, that's brickwork and blockwork up to wall plate. I'm going to talk about the roof structure, insulating the roof structure. You can see that the tiling is almost complete. So the envelope, if you like, the outside of the building is around about 95% complete. Now I want to sort of get across in this video just how much it's cost to get to this point, because I get asked this a lot, and building costs vary up and down the country. And this is just a snapshot of what this particular building has cost in 2024, late 2024. Now, a little bit of background. So this building is technically a self-build. Callum, who's been building it, he's not from the building trade as such, but he's very capable as an individual, and he's been basically overseeing the whole build. I've been guiding him, doing a little bit of project management, and I've been here on site to do the roofs and all kinds of other things with him. So he's kindly agreed to sort of go through what those costs have been. And this video, as I say, is going to be how much it's got us to get to this point. So how much has it cost? Okay, so the first job, of course, was to scrape back the site and get all the spoil out of the way. Now most of that, because this is a fairly big site, has been able to be redistributed onto site to keep the costs down. Then it was a matter of getting this great big piled raft put in to this point here. So obviously there was piles, concrete piles driven into the ground, or piles augured and filled in the ground. And then we've got the raft here. And then from there, the brickwork or the blockwork started, cavity blockwork, insulated, all the way up to where the roof starts. Now, the cost to get to that point, up to wall plate, this is for materials and labour, excluding VAT. This is a new build, so it's zero rated, was £43,000, okay? Which is for a footprint, the footprint of this building is around about 80 square meters. The overall floor area of this build, if you include downstairs and upstairs, is around about 147 square meters, okay? So that was to get from the ground up to where the roof started. So the next stage of the job, once the groundwork was done, the brickwork or the brickwork and blockwork was up to wall plate level, we put the wall plates around, that started the roof off. We then bought all the material onto site. Some of it had been prefabricated. We had a crane on site and we started assembling the roof structure. We put the main trusses up, we built the gables, and we put through our lattice ridge beams. This eliminates the need for steel. We then cut all of the roof rafters in, and we formed 4 dormers. So there's one behind me on the front and there's 3 across the back. They're all exactly the same size, and we often do that so when we're building we can manufacture all of the parts of the truss, of the dormers down on the ground and get them assembled. So we try to do some value engineering, especially in the roof construction, okay? So once we did all that, we put our flooring down, that gives us somewhere really nice to work. Then we get the membrane over the top of the insulation on the outside of the roof, so it's a warm roof, so we go all over the rafters with PIR insulation. Once we've got that, we then put a 2x2 timber all the way up to hold the insulation down, and then we put the membrane on, then we batten it ready for the tiles. Then we go inside and we put the insulation with the gapper tape in between the rafters to get all of the envelope completely done. The gables, as I mentioned, we put our studs up OSB, then we went on the outside with 120 millimeters of PIR, then we put a 50x50 batten, we screwed it all the way through to hold that PIR in, and then we went over with our counter batten for the vertical thermowood cladding. 1 Velux window up on this main roof. So in this cost, to get from wall plate all the way up to where you see it now, cladded, it's built, it's cladded, it's insulated. The tiles are 95% finished. We just have the vented ridge to fix down. So the total cost for that part of the work, including all the materials, the timber, the crane, the labour, the tiles, the insulation, the gaffer tape, the cladding, fixing everything you see behind me, was £52,800. Okay, so we did the windows and doors next to complete the envelope. So they're the windows and the doors that you see behind me. So we've got 3 sets of bifolds on this job. We've got around about 10 windows. So everything, when I call a window, is not that. That's a set of bifolds up there. That's obviously a window in the dormer. And we've got a front door, we've also got a back door, and we've got a pair of French doors as well. So there's about 16, 17 items, I would say. And they came to 25 grand supplied and fitted, okay? So total to get to this point, which has been preparing the site, the groundwork, so the slab, block work up to wall plate, roof construction, all the insulating, all the tiling, the cladding, labour, materials and everything is £120,800, okay? Now, I reckon that's pretty good. Now, Callum is pretty exceptional when it comes to ability, okay? So if you're thinking about doing some sort of self-build or building a house or getting a builder in, you will hear people talk about square meterage costs, and that's based on the finished amount of how many square meters of floor space that there is over whatever stories that you have. So in the southeast, the average, they say, is between £2,000 a square metre and £4,000 a square metre. You can spend a lot more than that, depending on specification. This particular build is a fairly high spec, and it's coming in way under that at the moment. Now we're about 50% of the way through the job. We are now just about to do what we call the first fix on the inside. So we've got some stud work to do downstairs. The underfloor heating has gone in or is going in today. The screed is going in here tomorrow. We've got a liquid screed. And then we'll be doing some other petitioning, getting the electrician in to do his first fix, the plumbing first fix, and so on and so forth. Getting it all ready for plasterboarding and plastering. So up to this point, this is what we're talking about at the moment. It's £120,800, okay? That's excluding VAT. This is 0 rated. It's a new build. So I will do another video from this point to the end. It might be 6 months time, but I will do another video to see how much the full build came in, and we'll also do a tour of it at that time. I hope you've enjoyed this. Keep tuned. I'll catch you all again soon.